We're going, we're counting down now. Welcome to Fixing the Nation. I'm your host, Samuel Wise Bangura. Today we delve deep into the hearts of the country's main opposition party, the All People's Congress, as it grapples with a crisis that threatens its unity and direction. The party is facing challenges on multiple fronts, from the internal dispute over the membership status of former Vice President Chief Alhaji Samuel Sam Sumana, which has now reached the Political Parties Regulation Commission, PPRC, to the sudden removal of Dr. Samuel Murphy Wilson Kamara as the party's chief negotiator in the crucial tripartite committee. This committee itself has been questioned for its transparency and impartiality. All this unfolds as Dr. Kamara continues to assert his claim to electoral justice from the 2023 polls to the petition of published rules and regulations for the party's upcoming lower level elections, to Alfred Peter Conte still challenging the legitimacy of the executive. So the crucial question for the APC is this: can the party navigate these turbulent waters and present a united front, or are these symptoms of a deeper fragmentation? Now, to help us unpack this, we are joined in the studio by the former presidential spokesman under the presidency of Ernest Bai Koroma, Abdoulaye Berete. Mr. Berete, good evening, and it's been a while. Thank you for joining us here.
It's a pleasure, Samuel Wise Koroma, and of course, I'll say a big afternoon and good evening to people in Africa, particularly in Sierra Leone and in Toronto, where I am being anchored from. It is just a good afternoon to everyone watching this program as well.
All right. We also have lawyer Abdul Karim Kamara from the All People's Congress Publicity Secretariat. Lawyer Kamara, good evening and thanks for joining us.
Of course, good evening. It's a pleasure being here. This is my first time being here. It's a pleasure being here. And my regards to the former spokesperson of our All People's Congress Party, my elder brother. How are you, sir?
Yes, Chief. How are you doing, man? Yes.
I'm doing well.
So we kill the pleasantries, and let's begin with the most immediate issue. And I'll start off with you, Lawyer Kamara, since you are coming from the publicity secretariat of the party. Now, we know the PPRC has made preliminary ruling on the issue of Chief Alhaji Samuel Sam Sumana. Now, with that, where does the APC stand as we speak with some of the issues that I have mentioned earlier in my intro? The fact that Chief Alhaji Samuel Sam Sumana continues to challenge the party over his membership status, the replacement of Dr. Samuel Murphy Wilson Kamara as the chief negotiator for the party at the tripartite committee. We have Alfred Peter Conte challenging the legitimacy of the executive. We have members of the APC party that have petitioned the rules and regulations published by the party for its upcoming lower level elections. Where does the APC stand as we speak?
Firstly, I want to say the APC continues to be resilient. We continue to be steadfast in what we're pursuing, and we know that we are doing the right thing, devoid sentiments, and we are going to protect the Constitution to the latter. I'm taking up from what you just said. PPRC hasn't given any preliminary ruling. That I want to state very clear.
Okay.
PPRC having received the objections from Alhaji Abubakar Siddiqui Samuel Sam Sumana, it behoves them to adhere to the doctrine of natural principles, which says ode al partem, here the other side. So in their wisdom, they compiled everything that was sent to them by Chief Sam Sumana, and they sent same to the APC. and they required us to reply within 14 days. And we did that within 10 days or 11 days, if I stand to be corrected.
Right.
And we have sent our 17-pager response to the objection of Chief Samuel Sam Sumana. And so PPRC, yesterday I was at SLBC, myself and a representative from PPRC. They acknowledged receipt of our response to the objection of the former vice president. And in his exact words, they said they have equally sent same to him, and they are waiting him again to make in his own input. After this exchange, as lawyers can say, exchange of bundles, then for us, if it is litigation, they will say the matter is now set down for trial. But I think for mediation purposes, after this exchange of bundles, they will now call us to a mediation table. That is what we are waiting. But I said something yesterday which was very passionate about myself. And I said this yesterday. It was passionate, and I said it out of a genuine and sincere call that all those who sent in objections to the PPRC, I say this for the fear of Allah, that they are not helping the APC. It's a calculated attempt by them to strangulate the APC. The objections were frivolous. The objections were vexatious. The objections were malicious. And they were all a calculated plot to strangulate the APC when the APC is so desirous of moving a step forward. Why do I say so?
Out of curiosity, Lawyer Kamara, as you say that, I mean, these people are doing so out of malice because you're claiming that their petition is malicious. Let's go back to some of those.
It's frivolous, it's vexatious, it is born out of a calculated plot to strangulate the APC in its bid to moving forward.
I want to take a look at some of the people who really petitioned. I'm told that the former majority leader in the House of Parliament, head of government business, who is now an elder of the APC, Honorable Ibrahim Bundu, petitioned. I'm told one of those, vying for a national office in the APC, Honorable Alimami Colson Ture, also petitioned. And these are senior members of the APC. So describing their attempts to petition or question the published rules and regulations as malicious and an attempt to strangulate the progress of the APC. How so?
That's exactly what I was ready to the statement I made is very, very strong. Right. And I was just about to substantiate my allegation or my submission that the APC is not a riffraff party, and that is in inverted comma. The APC, its dealings, its operations is being regulated by the March 7 Constitution of 2022. And therefore, whatever that the APC does must be informed by the Constitution, which regulates the conduct of the party. That is more so the reasons the regulations that we submitted to PPRC were all born out of the APC March 7, 2022 Constitution. So we are saying, whatever that you know that you're going to raise an objection for that hinges on the March 7, 2022 Constitution, there is a clear provision as to how you go about doing it. But any attempt that you know very well that this is the modus operandi, this is how you go about doing it, and you take a U-turn, that is completely vexatious. That is malicious. That is exactly why I said it's a calculated plot to strangulating the positive moves you are making forward. Now, the constitution of the APC make it abundantly clear. Pursuant to Article 17, 1 and 2, it says, whatever that hinges on the constitution of the APC, if members of the party think, one thing I want to establish first before I make this submission in its entirety, that a constitution cannot be complete in its entirety. A constitution must adapt to unfolding events. In as much as drafters will equally forecast what future events will look like, it will not exhaust future events in its entirety. And so as it evolves, if there happens to be the need for amendment or a repeal of a particular provision of the Constitution makes provision as to how you go about doing it. That Article 17A says, if you know there is any provision in the Constitution that to your own reasoning is not appropriate and to some extent is discriminatory or it does not serve your intent and purposes, the Constitution requires you to make what you call a proposal for amendment. Put this in inverted comma. You make a proposal for amendment to the Secretariat, which is being headed by the Secretary General of the party. That when we retire for the all-important NDC, let this be an item on the agenda for discourse, because we have noticed that this particular provision in the Constitution does not serve its intended purpose. And so when we retire to the all-important,
I know we have to run through the legal platitudes here, but let me just hold you there and get a precursory remark from Abdoulaye Biriti. Abdoulaye Biriti, you've been there. I mean, you've been serving the APC at even a governance level and the country. And I know you've been speaking for the former leader and chairman of the APC. With what is happening in the APC at the moment, some of the issues I highlighted, Peter Conte, Samuel Sam Sumana, Dr. Samura Matthew Wilson Kamara, the rules and regulations being petitioned by members of the APC. Where does that position the APC in its readiness and preparation for the 2028 elections?
Thank you very much, Samuel Wise. I will be very cautious to speak within the legal framework of the issues that have been unfolding within the party vis-a-vis Chief Sam Sumana. I listened to his press conference judiciously, and he claimed that he was readmitted into the APC in 2020. That he had approached earlier on the Elders Council within our party as provided for in our 2022 party's constitution with a view to resolving some of the contentious issues, and that he went to the PPRC as a last resort, and that if the matter is not resolved there, he will move into court for legal redress. So with all of this, all I can say is our party, the Sierra Leoneans, are looking forward for us to take over the governance of the country. And therefore, I believe in my little law that I read, that if only all the parties, the defendants, including the plaintiff, could come together and institute an alternative dispute resolution, I think that will be in the best interest of our party. The reason being, these are contentious issues. In as much as they are not a novelty, we expect them. We also believe that Sierra Leoneans deserve that decorum within our party, because they are always comparing the party to the despicable governance issues that are unfolded under the current SLPP government. And therefore, the only hope they see now is in the APC. And this is where I think the leadership of the party, which I have been engaging with behind the scenes, they are very open as well to say, okay, you know what? We can only talk about a dispute resolution if the other party is ready for that. And this is why I'm happy that already some initiatives have been made, as disclosed by my colleague here, Abdul Karim, that some conversations are going on. And with regards to Samura Kamara being removed as chief negotiator.
Let me take you back to, let's take it one step at a time. Let me take you back quickly to Chief Alhaji Samuel Sam Sumana. I could recall when he was expelled from the party and eventually booted out of the vice presidency. He left Sierra Leone. He came back. I was the first journalist that spoke to him. And what he told me at the time for the 2018 elections was that returning to the APC was the last thing on the table for him. But he was going to contest the president. He was going to contest for the presidency of the country with no doubt. But all cards were on the table except returning to the APC. And then we saw him fronting the Coalition for Change. After the Coalition for Change in 2023, again, he was still bad when he made his attempts to return to the APC. And then 2 letters we have seen from the APC. The first letter talked about a reinstatement and allowed him to pay all the backlog subscription he was supposed to pay as a member of the APC. Again, we then saw another letter stating readmission. Now, there is a confusion. So he thought because he was reinstated, now the 5 years clause should not affect his ambition to become a flag bearer aspirant for the APC. Now, look at what the C4C did to the APC, the fragmentation that caused during the 2018 election. C4C got about 8 seats in parliament and all of that. Now we're seeing Sam Sumana being at the center of it again. And the question is, do you see Sam Sumana coming to play with the APC, especially when his camp has submitted that the particular clause in the 2022 constitution of the APC is particularly targeting Sam Sumana?
Well, I'll always say when somebody is denied the pudding, there is a tendency to say the pudding was not well prepared. But one thing that I know is laws are not made for specific people, because that is the entire principle of the rule of law. And that everybody, even in our national constitution, so if he feels being targeted and that all the laws, the rules being prepared within the party in readiness for the laws governing potential flag bearerships to a party, I think this is where he didn't agree with that. And it is his own right within the principle of natural justice that he can come to the party, which he did. He went. And the controversy in all of these unfolding events has been the precursor to his expulsion from the party that even terminated his membership at some point. I see somebody, an elder within our party, that is Honorable I.B. Kagbo, who came out publicly and said he was misled as chairman of that committee established by NAC to investigate all the allegations made. But again, if I.B. Kagbo Honorable had come out publicly to said, had he known what the fact afterwards, those issues wouldn't have even been a reason to expel Sam Sumana. But the bottom line is, he was expelled. And of course, I will not go into the semantics about readmission, reinstated, etc., because that will just convolute the entire conversation here. But for me, I belong to the pacifist school of thought that if we can have political expediency to bring everybody on board, even somebody is denied a right of certain things, but if that person can be pacified in a way to come and have a conversation intentionally, especially when Sam Sumana has said he was born APC, he is APC, and he will die APC, which according to your postulation seem to contradict the interview you had with him, that coming to the APC will be his last resort, and that it was not on his radar. So how do we reconcile those statements and the current events that are unfolding? And this is where I only hope good conscience will come to play, because for me, I believe, and you cited a very, very nice example. I will not say he cost us losses in the APC, but at the end of the day, he was able to covet 8 or so seats from Kono, which hitherto would have been for the APC. So this is where the political equation for me is, how do we make sure we come on board, we bring all stakeholders to the party with less antagonism, even if we disagree with that individual, our comments, our statements should be very much civil in such a way that we don't inflame the situation. Because I'll tell you, I may have the right in a court of law, but that right can be subsumed if I subject myself to the principle of alternative dispute resolution, particularly in non-criminal matters. Abdul Karim is here as a lawyer. He knows that in law, we have included conflict mediation and alternative dispute resolutions as well. Because for us as a party, if we can bring everybody on board, let's say the law is adhered to stricto sensu, that Sumana, this law is not meant for you. It is a general law, and the law is not meant for individuals, because that will just undermine the entire principle of the rule of law. So this is my own take, and I have been, as I mentioned, speaking with the leaders and other stakeholders within the party, that, hey, if we can come together as a united force, we will have the chance to not only canvass the confidence of the people of Sierra Leoneans who are yearning for this invaluable change that is coming in 2028. And this is where, if I may, this is inextricably linked to the second segment of your question about Samura Kamara.
Let me hold you down. I want Abdul Karim to respond to the issue of Sam Sumana.
Absolutely.
Abdul Karim, Sam Sumana, of course, you know, it's no secret. Himself, his camp, they've come out to say the APC appears to be targeting his ambition, targeting him with that particular clause in the 2022 constitution of the APC. But the very APC as an outfit went and issued 2 letters. One talked about reinstatement, asked him to go and pay every backlog of his membership dues, which he did. According to Brian Michael Tui, it was the one who paid that money in the party's account. And then another letter now under the current executive is saying, okay, we have readmitted you. This is your card. And he's disagreeing with that, saying, wait a minute, you guys pushed me out in 2023, but I was calm because I thought, okay, in the interest of the party. And now in 2028, I'm hoping that by 2026, the 5-year clause would not affect me again. So why are you holding that against Chief Alhaji Samuel Sam Sumana as a party?
Let me take it off from where my elder brother, the former spokesperson, landed. The APC continues to expedite mediation. We believe that the party is bigger than all of us. We must not center our individual ambitions at the detriment of the greater majority. We want to make sure that we front the 2028 general elections as a united party, which is denied of intra-divisions. But however, one thing we will say, and I will say it for and on behalf of the party for which I'll be attending very senior party meetings, is that we will not sacrifice the Constitution on the altar of the satisfaction of an individual. I repeat. Constitution cannot be sacrificed on the altar of an individual sentiment.
Are you?
So therefore,
forgive me. Let me ask you this quickly.
Can I continue?
You will. I'm curious, just so I don't lose this thought. So as you make that submission that you cannot slaughter the Constitution on the altar of individualism, the question I want to ask now, even though the chair of the committee that expelled Sam Sumana from the party has come out to say, wait, guys, I was deceived. I did not get all the facts that as I do now. So should the party not take responsibility for making a decision that was feared or influenced by wrong judgment, for saying, okay, you know what, the party is responsible for where Sam Sumana is with us today. So maybe, I think as a result of that, let's welcome Sam Sumana unconditionally as the ITGC did.
The line is beginning to get bad.
Did you get what I say? Did you get what I said?
The network is beginning to get bad. I don't know whether you've changed your position or not.
I think it's where you are. I'm good. But go ahead.
Let me say this to you, Mr. Bangura. I speak as a lawyer.
Right.
The law and the extant case law that will guarantee same. That the law is instant, where there is no provision of the law. So therefore, whatever that the law has catered for is instant and sacrosanct. When a tribunal is being set up, and that tribunal comes out with a resolution or a decision or a verdict, that verdict becomes sacrosanct and instant and cannot be nullified by just an individual who was just a member of that particular committee. Let us understand, it's very clear, and there are case laws for that.
Right.
I am not ready to discuss what exactly the individual opinion of Honorable Ibrahim Ben Kagbo is. What I want to address is what exactly was the output or the resolution or the findings or the result of that tribunal. That is what I am discussing. And so therefore, taking a step forward, I want to say this, and I'm saying it for the fear of Allah. For me, I choose politics because I have the fear of Allah in me. And I repeat, we as a party are always ready to sit on the negotiation table, to agree that indeed the party is bigger than all of us, and that we must not allow individualism to take a center stage as against utilitarianism. And so therefore, what we are doing as a party is that we have responded to Chief Alhaji Sam Sumana's 5-page petition with 17 pages, with annexes. At each averment we made, we supported with authorities and minutes and conversations of saying. Back to the letter you asked, 2 letters, right. i.e. a letter issued to him in 2020 and a letter issued to him in 2023.
Right.
For the letter issued to him in 2020, paragraph 2 of that letter with specific reference, and the last paragraph of the same letter of 2020 was all geared towards saying that the only time you will be deemed a bona fide member of our party is when you will be officially on National Delegate Conference. That same position is anchored in Article 13, G and F of our new constitution. That whosoever has been expelled from the party can only be made a bona fide member of that party at the same authority that expelled you. That is more so the reason in the landmark judgment of Justice Aiden Fisher at paragraph 90, subparagraph 10, sub 4, he made it categorically and emphatically clear that the ITGC being an interim governance committee, you are charged with the responsibility to address all unresolved membership issues. But however, do not attempt to resolve membership issues that are subjected to be addressed at a national delegate conference. And simply put, the membership issue of Alhaji Abubakar Siddiqui Samuel Sam Sumana was only to be addressed at a national delegate conference.
Right.
That is more so the reason when we converged at McKinney in 2023, its issue was made an item on the agenda. And thus, unanimously, we agreed to have Chief Alhaji Abubakar Sam Sumana back to the party instance 2023. And just after the convention of 2023, the now Secretary General wrote to him formally telling him that you have been ushered into the party again legitimately. And as you have gone through all the modus operandi, the procedures, condition precedent, now you are a bona fide member of the party, and we are now at leverage to issue you a membership card. And that was why we issued him a membership card on date of post registration, dating back 2023.
And let me ask you, based on that submission. Now, he was given a letter in 2020 by the ITGC, but he has been
no, not the ITGC, by the then Secretary General Ambassador Usman Fude Ansani,
who is the deputy chairman of the party now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, and the reinstatement was contingent upon the approval of the delegate of conference, which is the highest decision-making body.
Exactly.
But the party had already reinstated him. All that was needed was for the conference or that body so make a decision. Okay, fine. Yeah, he's in, or no, he's not in. So should we say, based on that Sam Sumana, his membership already started counting from 2021 when he was reinstated by the party under the leadership of as the secretariat was being headed by the now deputy chairman? Is that anything to go by?
Let me give you a simple analogy. Samuel, you and I went to Frabi College. A simple analogy. Does that mean applying to Frabi College makes you a student of Frabi College? Or I am coming. No, I am just to land. I said, does that mean applying to Frabi College, having got your WAS complete, and you apply to Frabi College, you want to be enrolled as a student of Frabi College, does that mean you are a student of Frabi College? Or it is condition dependent when you've been given an acceptance letter and you've gone through the orientation period and you've signed your matriculation that indeed on this day, the Chancellor of the university now proclaims that all matriculants, today you are bona fide members of the institution. Here you are, Frabites. Can you make that distinction? So basically we are saying, for you to be readmitted to this party, it's procedural. Just a first step does not qualify you. There is that ultimate ceremony which counts it all, that as of this date instance, you are now a bona fide member of the party. So whatever he was doing was what we call a preparatory stage, or it was procedural leading to the ultimate event.
Right.
So therefore we are saying, and I've said this many a time, that at the time Alhaji Abubakar Samuel Sam Sumana was at C4C, and we were preparing the new constitution, we never contemplated him, because he has said it many a time that he has no intention of coming back to the APC. So saying that the provision in Article 56B was specifically targeting him is a non-starter. Because the drafters of the Constitution have had him on several platforms saying he has no contemplation, and returning back to the APC is a non-starter. He was not in our contemplation. And so therefore, we continue to say this.
Do you consider him to be a spent force? Maybe that's why the APC is thinking that, no, Sam, Do you consider Sam to be a spent force?
No. He's back to the party. He's a member of our party. We treat him with the highest amount of respect. For us, we treat him with the respect he deserves. We cannot ascribe him as a spent force. No, we treat him with the highest amount of respect he deserves. What we cannot slaughter on the altar of individualism is that the collective good of all. We respect him. We accord him the respect as a former statesman. We see him as somebody who has a huge following. But again, the constitution of the APC will and will always be held in sacrosanct. We continue to make sure that this constitution. We continue to make sure that this constitution.
Go ahead, land. Let me allow you to land.
We continue to hold that this constitution is for all and cannot be used in the influence or in the interest of an individual. Because attempting to do so, we are going to open a Pandora's box. We are going to open a floodgate. And don't forget that Alhaji Abubakar Samuel Sumana, Article 56B, does not only provide for the leader of the party, it provides for the leader of the party and flag bearer, as well as all national officers.
Are you also
so therefore,
I know
for 5 years continue. That's why I'm coming. The 5 years clause of continued party membership and
have to come back to. Let's wrap up on this Sam Sumana issue. I have to come back to Abdullah quickly, but let me ask you this question. One of the reasons,
yes.
one of the complaints of Chief Alhaji Samuel Sam Sumana to the Political Parties Regulation Commission is that, wait, I don't understand. If you're not targeting me, why are you also allowing someone who left the party, went and joined the I think it's the party of Alhaji I'm forgetting
Musa Tarawali. Let me help you, Musa Tarawali.
And
yes.
he ran as his
Paul Pajero.
Tarawali, and then now he's back in the APC, and one of those contested for the leadership of the party. If and you have no problem with
Mr. Samuel. Samuel, we have a common principle in law which says he who asserts must prove. And when you go to the court of law, you just don't go and talk because you feel like talking. It's not a regular place where you talk. Wherever you say has to be supported with evidence. I have challenged BMT, who happens to be the chief of staff of the SAM 28.
Right.
If he has any document to the effect where NAC and subsequently the overall body, the most powerful body of the party, where we expelled Paul Pajero, let him bring it to the public domain. Then we'll know that we've started acting ultra vires. We are saying, and we have said this.
Let me quickly, to my knowledge, I have interviewed Brian Michael Toure here on this platform, and he did not say Paul Pajero was expelled, but he said that Paul Pajero leaving the APC, becoming a running mate to another political party is the highest form of anti-party activity. And the APC miraculously became dumb. So nothing was said about him.
Okay.
And he is now
okay. Let me address this quickly. Let me address this quickly from points of law. From a point of law now. The law, I repeat, is instance where there is no other subsidiary law, or there's no provision as expressly stated.
Right.
When the law is expressed, there's no other thing that would supersede it. I am saying this, and I am speaking as a lawyer.
Go ahead.
If they can show us evidence-based where exactly Paul Pajero was expelled from the party, then we'll know that we are applying selective justice. What I am saying here categorically clear is this. The APC constitution is very clear and very emphatic. If you are expelled from the party, highest organ of the party, you only come back to the party by the same organ. So if Paul Pajero was not expelled, that is more so the reason. You have to understand this. In Justice Adrian Fisher's ruling, at paragraph 90, I repeat, subparagraph 10, sub 4, he says, deal with all unresolved membership issues. And don't forget, any issue that has to be dealt with at the NDC must be dealt with at the NDC. So if the issue of Paul Pajero was not a matter to be dealt with at the NDC, that means it has been dealt with internally.
Okay.
Do we make it clear?
Thank
Do
you.
we make it clear? Simply put, simplicity.
You have made your submission. Let me
So
bring it up.
anything that was not subjected to an NDC has been dealt with internally. What is supposed to be dealt with at the NDC shall be dealt with at the NDC. And you understand these operative words. When the law says shall, it's mandatory, which is different from when the wordings are will.
We get
or should.
We get to learn every day the legalist platitudes. But thank you very much, Abdul Karim Kamara. Stay there with us. But also, if you could, please, would you want to actually change your position of if you're using a phone, would you want to change your position to landscape, please, so it helps getting you clearer and bigger on the screen. I'm liberated. Let me ask you this question. We quickly have to move on to Samura Kamara, but let me ask you about Sam Sumana. Now, Sam Sumana is saying, this if not to which hunt, now how? Paul Pajero will self be done. If I go contest as one in mate for party. But they not do nothing, not say nothing. Look, the match they contest now for B flag bearer. But me, una they target me. What have I done to the APC? Even when a member of that committee came out and said, indirectly or technically, that we did wrong, Sam Sumana, because the facts that are available, I was deceived. What is happening? How do we get this out of the rim? Because we're actually battling right now.
For me, I still hold the view that it is the goodwill of effective engagements and intentional conversations. The legal aspect is, I don't think Sam Sumana was targeted in any way.
Right.
The reason being, by the time the 2022 Constitution was being promulgated, he had already made a very clear statement, and you have even confirmed that he will not come back to the APC, and that thought will be a last resort for him. But later he applied. Even though he said that, the party, particularly NAC, unanimously readmitted or reinstated him.
Mm-hmm.
But again, in that same letter, it was very clear that it is subjected to the approval of the highest body within our party, which is the National Delegates Conference. And that happened in 2023. So you can see, even when I spoke with Lansana Dubuya, our Secretary General, he was very clear that they've accorded Chief Sam Sumana the highest honor to be in the hierarchy of the party based on the membership card given him.
Right.
Which means he is also recognized that he is a member of our party. But again, contentious issues could emerge. And this is where I believe if we cannot resolve these issues amicably at a non-legal level, just as Sam Sumana indicated in his press conference, he said he will go to PPRC for an interpretation or guidance. And that if he cannot get what he wants there, his last resort will be to go to the courts for an interpretation. So these are contentious issues which, to me, from the political science experience, when it comes to the intention of a political party being to covet power and come into governance, and having also recognized that we need everybody within the party, if there will be the goodwill, so that we can pacify people, even if it is not to reinvent the wheel, so that it cannot be a jeopardy, whereby if you are saying the 5-year clause was not inserted to target Chief Sam Sumana, where does the magnanimity comes then to say we are going to waive it? That will make the party look bad as well. But we can always come to resolve conflicts. When we resolve conflicts, we'll be on the same page. That way, even somebody is aggrieved, but haven't put bare all the facts on the table, they will know that just as the 2022 elections of our constitution of our party was not done singularly to appease anybody, but it is like we need rules just like any other organization to have such rules. So this is where I'm waiting very keenly to see what the mediation efforts are going to produce for us as a party. And if not, whether Chief Sam Sumana, who has eloquently maintained that he was born APC, he is APC, and he will die APC, whether he will say, you know what, I am not going to defy all the aspirations of this party by going through the legal channel. Let me see how I can acquiesce myself to working with the party so that come 2028, we will convert the expectation Sierra Leoneans have for the APC to take over the governance of our country. So to me, I am a little bit constrained. The reason being, I am not in the nitty-gritty of this behind-the-scenes conversations, apart from just having conversations with the respective stakeholders. But I can see some optimism being given me that 10 chances to 1, there could be a headway to resolve this impasse.
Right. Okay. Let's move on to Dr. Samuel Matthew Wilson Kamara's replacement as the chief negotiator. The APC claimed that Dr. Kamara has been missing in action. He's not been coming back to the party to report activities of the committee to the parties, because he was sent there. By default, he was the presidential candidate of the party in 2023, and he was directly affected with the way the elections panned out and what's brought about. And Dr. Samuel Kamara is still hell-bent on electoral justice. He was then, of course, according to the 2022 constitution, again, the APC said, oh, no, Samuel Kamara is no longer the leader of the party, because it's, I mean, the constitution gives a 6-month period. So after that, you're no longer a leader of the party. And after, I mean, he was chief negotiator and then now replaced by Dr. Kelfala Mara. Now, one of those contending for the flag bearership of the APC party. So, in the eyes of supporters of Samuel Matthew Wilson Kamara, it appears, wait a minute, are you favoring Dr. Kelfala Mara over my candidacy? First off, what do you make, Abdullah, what do you make of that decision to replace Samuel Kamara as the chief negotiator for the APC?
Well, thank you, Samuel Wise. That's a very interesting question. The reason being, we have all been yearning for electoral justice. And I believe in electoral justice for very obvious reasons. One being, when you look at the recommendations that came out from the tripartite conversations, almost all of them were a reinvention of the Public Elections Act of 2022,
right,
and the 1991 Constitution. For me, you can have the best of laws. You can come. The challenge we have in our country is the implementation and to hold people accountable. We have said we need transparent elections, credible elections. All of these are in our Constitution and the Public Elections Act.
Right.
But sadly, the current government, when we had the by-elections in Kwenadugu, one of them, I meant that one of the employees of the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone made an audacious attempt to even change 049 to 149 to the advantage of the SLPP. And that went with impunity. Another example was in constituency 110 in Godrich, whereby a sitting cabinet minister went there to disrupt, and there was no accountability. So this is where we believe, I personally believe in electoral justice. My own radical departure with the electoral justice was the mantra that elections for 2023 were going to be reconducted, and that Samura was going to be declared the president.
Right.
And that was when I came up with the done and dusted issue, that would be an anathema. Now, Samura Kamara had taken the lead, but he cannot operate in vacuum. He was representing the APC as a party. And when I listened to Lansana Dumbuya, somebody I have known in terms of integrity, even before he dreamt of coming into the party politics, haven't been my college mate to work together during those days for many, many years. I can vouch for his credibility publicly. And he was very categorical and emphatic that the reason why Dr. Samura Kamara was replaced with Kefala Mara was because, one, he was unreachable. Two, his physical presence in meetings has not been there. And third, and which in my opinion is very important, we have been shouting that the SLPP-led government has not been serious when it comes to the implementation of the recommendations so reached. And the SLPP said, well, we have been given the pieces of information to your lead negotiator. And if the lead negotiator has not been updating, appraising the party about the workings of those committees, then it makes sense, in my own opinion, for Dr. Samura Kamara to be replaced. And he was, of course, approached, informed, and for me, the choice for Kefala Mara, it could have been any other person. It could have even been me. But I think it was informed by virtue of the fact that he was, from the inception of the conversation about a tripartite for national unity, involved on behalf of the party. So because of that institutional knowledge, it therefore speaks to reason for him to go and see how he can represent our party. And when I say this, I have no ill feelings of Samura Kamara, because I still respect him as somebody who has endured to be our flag bearer in 2 consecutive presidential elections. And we have that respect for him. But he also has to do the needful, because at the end of the day, the party has to move on. No singular person should be allowed to hold the party to ransom.
Personally, do you still consider Samura Kamara as a towering figure in the APC? In 2028, the slogan, Sabiam went viral. 2023. So do you feel now that people know him, and that apparently is what is pushing him? Because for him, he is on the mantra. I mean, he has built, according to him, he has built his reputation on the mantra of honesty, and the fact that he cannot compromise that particular principle, even in politics, is what is disturbing his relationship with the APC as an entity. What's your take?
My take is very clear. He has been an ambiguous personality. You cannot equate the fight for electoral justice, which the party believes in, and bringing in people promoting a mantra every other minute, every Friday. They would say he was going to be sworn in as a president without him coming out to make it very categorical, because he knew that the 2023 elections were done and dusted. So why would you want to lean on a thin thread, deceiving and misleading people to believe in that, and you being the center, very pivot around that thinking? I think he owes it to Sierra Leoneans and our party in particular to come out in the most unambiguous way to say, you know what? My fight for electoral justice is not about reinstating me, because I have had the word reinstatement when it comes to Dr. Samura Kamara. If my understanding of the word reinstatement means, it means you were there as a president, you were relieved, and now it is a second coming for you to assume the leadership of presidency again. And you have people who are very steadfast in even calling him His Excellency President Dr. Samura.
Right.
To me, that is very disingenuous. It is not good for a party, because at the end of the day, we know, even though we know how checkered the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone has been, and the lack of credibility they dispensed, in particularly during the 2023 elections, the Constitution of Sierra Leone is very clear. It is only the Chief Electoral Commissioner, who is the returning officer, that has the right to declare somebody as a president after the presidential elections. But Dr. Samura Kamara was never declared. I only wish he will have the audacity to come out publicly to say, you know what? I am a law-abiding citizen. I didn't agree with the election results of 2023. But as a peaceful citizen, I was not declared the winner of those elections. And today, we have come up with some recommendations, which I am very passionate about, and I will support through the auspices of my political party to make sure all the concerns we have from 2018 to 2023 elections will make sure we don't repeat those nefarious attitudes again. I think when he comes clean with that, it will just stop the respect some of us have for him, rather than being ambiguous and misleading people. There is nothing much disheartening, Samuel Wise.
Yeah.
When I saw people in my party, a cross-section of them, dancing, singing, that however it don't clean. This Friday, mother bill, they don't go arrest them in England. Then they cast away in Samura. It is very disheartening. Our party, the membership is a crop of very intelligent people. But when I see that, then I said, oh my God, what is happening here? And this is why I call on Samura Kamara to come out and speak to the nation.
Does that, quickly, just before I come in again to Abdul Karim, does that go back to the party? The party, Samura Kamara was representing the APC. And those comments, those shenanigans about from supporters of him saying, oh, he will be, in fact, I was speaking with, I think I spoke with CDI Tunis last week, but then one of Samura's supporters is in the US. I spoke with him and asked him, and he was so confident that in fact they don't sign the agreement to, and to go announce His Excellency Dr. Samuel Mafi Wilson Kamara, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. And the question I asked him was, is the APC giving you guys a free ride, in the sense that if Samura Kamara does not come out to condemn this and strengthen the record, why is the APC not coming out with a statement correcting that?
We have made that severally. And tonight is another typical example whereby, even though I am not an official spokesperson for and on behalf of the APC and the executive, but my views do resonate very clearly with the executive as I'm seated here. The reason being, I have listened to the publicity secretary of our party. He was very clear. He condemned that in no uncertain terms, that the actions by a cross-section of Sierra Leoneans, because some of them, not all of them, are APCians, so that they can relegate this thinking, this disillusionment that Samura is going to be the president tomorrow. So we have come out very eloquently to say that was very utopic. So the APC has come out, CDA Tunis has spoken for and on behalf of the APC to categorically debunk such insinuations. And this is where if Dr. Samura Kamara cannot come out to speak to us as a party, even though he was the lead negotiator, that was why he has been requested to relinquish that position and replace with Dr. Omara.
Okay.
So that is all in the good of, because it will be a political paradox, Samuel, for us to say the SLPP has not been serious in the implementation of the tripartite recommendations, and they come back to say, you know what, we have been briefing your chief negotiator, and the chief negotiator has not been accountable to the party. And Samura cannot operate in vacuum. Is there not as Dr. Samura Kamara, but rather to represent the party which is ready for governance in 2028.
Okay. Abdul Karim, let me hear you on the Samura Kamara issue. The party has come out for saying that Samura Kamara is missing in action. He does not seem to be a team player with us. He likes driving solo, and we are a political party with structures. So I think the best thing for us to do is to call him off the pitch. Come to the bench. Come to the bench. Let's put in a player who actually a player that possesses the skills that the party is looking forward to. A team player, one that comes back to ask and give reports to the entire team. So take us through. Is Samura Kamara done in the sense that he does not have much against with the APC? Is that anything to go with?
Let me take it again to you.
Right.
Of what essence will it be if you send me on an errand and I don't come to report to you?
Unfortunately,
I'm asking you.
You're not asking the question here.
I'm asking, yes. Of what essence will it be if you send me on an errand and I'm not back again to report to you accordingly? Of what essence will that be? Is it not an acting futility? Let's have a conversation. I'm asking you. You don't want to answer my questions.
So I don't
you
want
ask me and I
I don't
answer.
want you to insult my powers. I'm the one asking, but go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, fine. Again, I repeat, we'll continue to treat Dr. Samura Kamara as a very, very senior party official. There was a question he asked. In 2018, they said, you sabi am.
Right.
In 2023, he has grown so much and he has got a huge following. Politics is about numbers. In as much as we take that into consideration, we must not equally lose sight of the fact that the whole essence of a political party is to win political power. That's the top function of a political party. And that sets the distinction between a political party and a pressure group. For a political party, your objective is to win political party, so political power, and for a pressure group is to seek the welfare of your members. However, for Dr. Samura Martin Wilson Kamara, he has played his own part as far as the tripartite is concerned. As the coach of the team, he has thought it wise to withdraw him off the pitch of play and assign him another role should he make himself available? Do I make sense?
So his usefulness is contingent upon his availability. Is that what you're saying?
That's the point. That's the point you're making. And that was most of the reason why the Secretary General says the challenge we are facing with Dr. Samura Kamara is that anytime we question the implementation of the 80+4 recommendation, they will always tell us we are making significant impact to the extent that on one of the interview, Golo Kata said categorically clear that they have at most implemented 74 or 84% of the tripartite recommendation. That was ill to us. We said, what? What have you implemented? And the response is, we are in constant communication with your lead negotiator. And honestly speaking, the lead negotiator does not come to the party office. He's not in speaking time with the leadership of the party. He does not communicate to us. We don't know what is happening.
So Dr. Dr. Samuel got palaver with the current executive. Palaver they between them.
Wallahi, pass you ask Kamo, but we not feel say we don't make palaver.
You just said
we don't feel say we don't. That is what it doesn't mean. If you're not in speaking time with somebody, that means you're having palaver with the person. It simply means maybe you're not communicating with him. That's the point. He's not communicating with the party. He's not communicating with the leadership. At one occasion or at one point in time, he told the party clearly that his mother dreamt of him of not going to the party office. I hate saying this. That he should not go to the party office. How can you? A party you're representing, you said your mother dreamt of you and advised you in the strictest of terms that you should not ever enter the party office again. Where do you communicate? Where do you work for the party? However, we are saying Alhaji Minkailu Mansari, Alhaji Ambassador Usman Fudi Yansani, Lansana Dumbuya, and all national officers are saying, Dr. Samura Kamara, you've led so far. We want to utilize your expertise in another area. Make yourself available to the party who want to harness your potential in another area. However, in the same tripartite, you chose Dr. Kelfara Mara to lead the 7-man team that was to form the committee to review the 2023 elections and subsequent elections. And amongst the 7 men that were appointed by the APC to represent us in the tripartite committee, Dr. Kelfara Mara was the lead. So that tells you right from the inception stage, there. And so, in any material form, you've been honest to yourself. When my elder brother, Mr. Berity, said it will have been him, yes, it will have been him, but it will have been deficient because he will have been like a new spirit in the graveyard, as opposed to somebody.
I know the network is.
Yes, I'm following. I'm following.
Yeah, go ahead.
Had it been my elder brother there, Mr. Berity, he would have been a new spirit in the graveyard. Yes. But for Dr. Kelfara Mara, he has been there from the inception. He's no longer a stranger when it comes to the entirety of the tripartite. And that was most of the reason the decision of Dr. Kelfara Mara to represent us now as a lead negotiator replacing Dr. Samura Kamara was not unilateral. It was done at an extended NAC meeting for which I was in attendance.
Crazy. The network.
And so,
yes. Let me ask you this question. I know you're talking about why Kelfara Mara is just, but favorably situated to have replaced Dr. Samura Kamara. But let me ask a question. The party is saying, you know, going into the 2028 elections, we would craft the manifesto for the next flag bearer. Going into the 2028 elections, we would be the outfit to choose a running mate for the flag bearer. Is that now choosing Dr. Kaifala Mara, even though you said, I mean, he's been there, he's been chosen by Dr. Samara Kamara himself when he was chief negotiator to have led the 7-man committee in the tripartite implementation strategy. But is Dr. Kaifala Mara the one playing ball or agreeing already to say, you know what, okay, when I can draft me manifesto, I can give me running mate, me whatever I say I go with now. Is this a way of saying, I'll go with Kaifala Mara as a party?
No, let me make this very clear.
Go ahead.
When we are at that point, the party will develop rules as to how the deputy leader of the party can be selected. This is what we must understand. The position of deputy leader of the party is not an elective position. It is a selective position. And thus, when we are there, the party will develop rules as to how that particular position can be filled.
Right.
But as it is now, the party has said it unequivocally that the next leader of the party, who will subsequently be the flag bearer or standard bearer of our party, we as the party are going to develop what exactly the manifesto of the leader of the party will be. And that is going to be born. The reason is this. We don't want to.
Why is that? Because now, for example, we're saying,
I'm asking, the reason is this.
When we want to hold people accountable, we hold the leaders and not the outfits. So, for example, now we're talking about many people are saying, oh, wait a minute. President Bio has failed on this and failed on that. There's someone to hold accountable. And because, I mean, his visions were advanced by him and a group of people he appointed apparently to write that manifesto. But if the party is now going to craft a manifesto and give it to Abdoulaye Berete, for example, to run with, things that perhaps Abdoulaye Berete, I mean, it's not looking at prioritizing or looking at areas that are really impactful for the running of the country, would that sort of create trouble?
Beautiful. And that now can be nexus again to Article 56 D of our party constitution. This is where party ideology comes into play. Firstly, you have to understand this. You cannot disconnect President Bio from the SLPP, irrespective of the fact that he's the president of the republic. But whatever that is going wrong, you will say the SLPP government of President Bio. And so, wherever you may have to say, whether that decision of propounding the manifesto or the new direction manifesto of the SLPP in 2023 was unilaterally President Bio, collectively the SLPP is a party. So the APC now is doing what we're calling that we don't want to see a situation that A has failed and we still leave that situation unaddressed. And equally, we want to avert what happened with the APC in 2023. Now, whilst the APC was telling Dr. Samura Mati Wilson Kamara to go A, Dr. Samura Kamara will go B. We don't want a reoccurrence of what we have suffered in the past. So thus, as a way of moving forward, groups like Abdoulaye Berete are there in the West, different people are there in the West, us in Sierra Leone are here, experts in the party are all over the globe. We'll come to sit together, prepare a solid manifesto, which will be the mantra of the leader of the party, aimed at addressing issues bordering on Sierra Leone and not Liberia or Guinea, making sure that Sierra Leoneans live a dignified life, basic amenities are provided, average sustainability or average livelihood It's catered for all and sundry, irrespective of region, tribe, or race. And so that will be the mantra of the party for which the leader of the party will carry. So it will not be the leader of the party. It will be the All People's Congress Party. And so we'll monitor that mantra step by step, chronologically. And it becomes a property of all of us. It becomes a collective ownership.
So the party is now taking, so the party
that
is
is
now
the reasoning.
taking full responsibility.
The party takes full responsibility. And that is most of the reason we believe that the next leader of the party, we are going to furnish him with everything that he wants. All we will do is to make sure that we give him the necessary support. We'll give him the necessary support, I repeat for the second time, and make sure that everything that he wants to making sure that his work become efficient, we'll give. We'll not allow him alone to stand. We'll not just take everything and rest him on his shoulder, but rather collectively, all of us have liability, and others, all of us, will now come in to work in unison to making sure that we address issues that borders or hinges on Sierra Leoneans as a whole. That is the reasoning. So to say it's like Dr. Kelvara Mara is one we have seen that will give that leverage. It's not only him. It's a position of the party that whosoever wants to be the standard bearer of our party, the party has decided that this time around, the manifesto of the next governance for the APC in 2028 will be designed by the party, and you, the leader, you're only going to be given that mantra to run along with it. And so everything that is going to be...
I'm curious. I'm liberated. Let me ask you this question. The issue, I know we don't have time. We have to run through. We have hundreds of messages already that we have to go through some of them, and I have to apologize. That is why I put them on the screen already. For those of whose messages I will not be able to read, please, you will have to forgive me. I'm liberated. Let me ask you about the issue of the party making a decision that we would craft the manifesto for the next flag bearer. We would also and pick the running mate to flag bearer. Now, how does
that is not the position of the party? Kindly
go ahead. Selection. You're selecting.
No, that's not the position. Don't tend to twist the discussion. I said here unambiguously. The position of the party is this.
Yeah.
The leadership of the party is an elective position. Okay. However, the deputy leadership of the party is a selective position for which when that
is that provided for in the constitution?
Yes.
So let me ask
you. So therefore, the party, together with the leader of the party, having won the elections in the NDC, will design rules as to how the deputy leader of the party will be selected. That's the position of the party.
You would have to establish your framework. My question now is, the party has said they would have to select the running mate. In your own terms,
in tandem with the leader.
The deputy leader who eventually becomes the running mate to the flag bearer.
Exactly. Exactly.
To the flag bearer. Now, I'm elaborating. How does this sit comfortably with apparently the APC getting its act together, preparedness, readiness for the 2028 elections? Take into consideration, I also want you to have a bite on the issue of Alfred Peter Conte still challenging the executive, saying it's illegitimate because the matter is still in court. A final decision has not been made, so the IGTC is still legal or running. I don't know how that is happening, because over the last years there has been an executive running the affairs of the party. But let me hear what you have to say.
I think the whole thing about the party developing a manifesto is to make sure we include in that manifesto the philosophy that we believe as a party will be able to implement to the best of our ability to govern the country in fulfilling the social contract we have with Sierra Leoneans. But I also want to emphasize, though, it doesn't mean when they say the party, individuals, including the flag bearer, will also provide some inputs there. So in essence, it's a question of internal accountability so that we don't have an excuse. We'll be able to defend to the letter whatever manifesto, which are the promises we are going to give to Sierra Leoneans, that if given the opportunity as a way of exercising their political sovereignty, that we as an APC will have a document to reference. So if you leave it exclusively in the hands of a single person to develop, then how is the party going to be part in that collective responsibility? So this is where, to me, it makes a lot of sense. People can provide inputs because we don't want a situation whereby our flag bearer will include in a manifesto to say, hypothetically, that if we come back to power, we are going to send the rockets to the moon. That will be utopic. And that will not be representative of the philosophy of the party. So whereas if we come, you make that suggestion in the collective, we'll be able to scrutinize it so that we can come with very realistic goals that we believe we will be able to work assiduously to implement for the good of the nation. So that is where I think having all of these internal arrangements, it is for the good of the party for accountability, because we want to also make sure that the accountability we are promoting within the party will cascade eventually in the overall governance of our country. So if I may, on the Peter Conte, I don't know what people have taken our party for. Time is not in our favor as a party in waiting to form next government come 2028. And I'm saying that with some profound optimism. So if we have somebody who wanted to be an antagonist towards those aspirations, where has Peter Conte been when we have an executive that has been running the affairs of this government, duly elected, and coming again to reinvent the wheel, to say, oh, that case Trade not done it. What are you thinking? Waiting are you case we not done it. So you see, in any organization, including political parties, you have people who have taken the opportunity and joy to be the spoilers. And I can say, by the actions of Peter Conte, it gives the impression that he wanted to spoil the soup. But guess what? Those attempts will be very futile. The reason being, the APC as a party is ever ready and determined. If people have gotten a field day in the past to toy around that they will derail and waste the time of the APC, well, we are going to be the fast train. When the train stops, it chimes, the door opens. If you come in, we will take you to your next destination. If you decide to waste time and the door closes, then you're on your own. And that symbolism is for the likes of Peter Conte. Peter Conte, if you wanted to be a chairman, we'll be having a convention very soon. Come and join the train. Come and flex your muscle. that you want to contest, and you are APC, you have, as long as you meet the criteria to contest for the respective position of your choice, come and do it. Let us stop this habit of going to the court, because we'll just be playing into the hands of the SLPP, who will just use the court, as history has proven, to waste the time of the APC, and eventually things that we are very much obliged to accomplish, so that we will very much be in absolute readiness for the 2028 will be delayed. So that delay this time, we will not encourage it, we will frown at it, and of course, we'll make sure we continue to be determined as ever to make sure come 2028, we can acquiesce ourselves to the aspirations of Sierra Leoneans, because they are looking for a change, which compared to the current government, I will tell you, the SLPP has abysmally failed the people of Sierra Leone in their mantra of a new direction.
As we conclude, again, I still just have to apologize to, interestingly, in real time, we have thousands of people following us right now, but time does not seem to permit us, and that is why I actually got those messages on the screen, so that your comments can be factored in the conversation, and I get to see them from across all platforms. So again, I have to apologize. But as we conclude, I want to pose a final thought to each of you, Abdullah Beriti. But let me start with you, Abdullah Beriti. From the perspective of all what is happening in the APC, what would you consider the most single important step that must be taken right now to prevent the APC from fracturing beyond repair?
For me, I pin my hopes on honesty, on integrity, and sincerity, that whatever we are doing as a party, as players within our party, we should make sure we move beyond sentiments, we move beyond campism, we move beyond to say this time a man, and review all the potential aspirants. Like as I'm speaking to you now, I was in a meeting where Dr. Ibrahim Bangura, one of the potential flag bearers, was addressing Torontonians. But because I wanted to be part of this very important conversation, I had to take some excuse from there so that I can be here. And he has subjected himself, like other flag bearers, to be questioned by Sierra Leoneans what their intentions are. So that is where, for me, we should start to make a reality check on all potential flag bearers. Already the party has come with some rules. That's people who have been indicted on corruption charges, people who have pending corruption charges. We cannot be in the midst of the campaign and they will be calling their matter to court as a way of distracting them. So it falls for us, all of us APCNs, to come out, because we have criticized the SLPP vigorously for being corrupt, for bloating the wage bill, for bringing in cronyism in the governance of the country, and the excessive travels and wastage the president has instituted so far, coupled with the grave human rights violations. So the scrutiny for me will be, are we going to have a president who will be ready very boldly to say, you know what, even if I am going to hold these people accountable, we should do it within the framework of Section 150 of our 19th Constitution, if we are going by the rules of court, when it comes to the establishment of any commission of inquiry. Should we have somebody who will say, I will not extrajudiciously remove an auditor general from office without due process? And thirdly, Will we have a first lady who will be spending the country's resources like a drunken sailor? So these are all things we should take very seriously as a party so that we can do internal scrutiny. That way, we'll have somebody that Sierra Leoneans can trust, Sierra Leoneans can believe in, to say, yes, we are not having a religious messiah, or at least we'll have somebody who will listen to our cries that we can hold accountable. And that is the type of leadership we are looking for.
Abdul Karim, the question is, how can the APC rebuild not only internal trust, but also the faith of the Sierra Leonean electorate that the party itself is a viable and unified alternative for governance?
Again, it's often said or not that the taste of the pudding is in the eating. The people of this country have tasted the pudding, and they can tell exactly as to the taste. The people have tested the APC in and out, government in, government out. The people have tested the SLPP as well, government in, government out. And I will tell you categorically, clear, emphatically, that it was only during the reigns of the APC that this country was rated as the fastest growing economy. Conversely, it is only in the reigns of the SLPP currently that our state, Sierra Leone, is named a narcotic state. Conversely also, it is only in the reigns of the current SLPP that our country, Sierra Leone, is making Sierra Leone a safe haven for the world's most renowned drug lord, Yours Akers. Recently, at Truth Media, unflagged boats were intercepted by the French naval, suspected to be boats from Sierra Leone. All these things have challenged our nation. So now, the APC has seen all these inadequacies. We are so desirous to making sure that we rebrand the image of Sierra Leone in its entirety and make sure again that Sierra Leoneans live a dignified life. Make sure that the cost of living in Sierra Leone can be, to some extent, relatively fair as compared to somebody's legitimate and bona fide earnings. It is conversely in Sierra Leone wherein your monthly remuneration cannot augment the staple food in Sierra Leone, a bag of rice. Having taken all this into consideration, it behoves us now as the APC that we make sure that we put the country first above individualism. And this is now going to relate to what my elder brother, Mr. Berity, says. That in as much as we contemplate on the bigger picture, we have to narrow it down as to who is going to be this person that will carry our mantra.
Okay.
Let it be this person who is selfless, this person of an impeccable character, this person that is all embracing, this person that cannot be chosen on the basis of sentiments, on the basis of regionalism, on the basis of tribalism, on the basis of Namiman. Let it be fearless.
All right.
Let it be born out of genuity. Let it be born out of the purest of the pure. That we are putting Sierra Leone first. And let us have somebody who is selfless,
Many thanks to
Who
Abdullah.
believes?
Many thanks to you, Abdullah Beriti and Abdul Karim, for, I must say, this robust and insightful discussions. It is clear that the path ahead for the APC is fraught with some challenges, but the outcomes are, I mean, we look forward to the outcomes from the PPRC's involvement in the resolution of the many issues Sam Sumana has raised there. We also look forward to the resolution of the tripartite committee's credibility gap and the party's ability to manage its eternal leadership ambition, which will ultimately determine whether it emerges stronger or weakened. The truth is, the soul of the APC party is being threatened. But thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure having both of you here. I look forward to having you again. Thank you very much, Abdul Karim. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much, Abdul Beriti.
Thank you, Samuel Wise, and have a good evening.
It's a pleasure to thank you so much. Goodbye to all.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Big brother, thank you so much. Goodbye.
Yes,